Hello, in this video I'll show you how you can create a SAP CPI Suite or just a CPI instance. So first thing is we want to go to SAP Cloud Platform. We want to log in with our user account. So we just log on to the trial. And you need a S user for it or a P user. Then you select which data center where you want to create the account, and then it's just about creating the global account, the sub account, the org, and the space, and this may take a little while, so I'll just pause in the meantime. And now it's done. Some of these things may take a little longer than others, but it's okay. Now we've created it, and we can go to our trial home, and here you can see the different trial accounts that you have. And one of the things is that if some point this fails or it does not work, you can always just delete the trial account. It's more difficult to delete it on here, but just click here delete to delete the full account. Okay, so we want to create a CPI suite, and one of the things, the first thing we need to do is to go into here, find the CPI integration suite, then we select subscribe. And when we are subscribing to this, one thing we'll get is in our trust collection, we will get a new role we can add. So we go to the SAP default system, enter our username. And if you do not know what it is, you can also find it up here, user info. Here you can find your user. So now you can see I'm just sub account administrator. You need to have this role that's called integration provisioner, and this will give us access to provision the system. So now we have created that. We can go to integration suite here. We can select go to application, and this will then open the integration suite. And if you click this before you have assigned the role, you may need to log out or on again or open it incognito this page. Then we can say add capabilities. And now we can assign which kind of integration suite products we want to assign to it. So we'll just select CPI, API management, open connectors, and integration content advisor. We'll just take the first two. We will have message queues on it. We will select next. We will also want to develop a portal, and we just click activate. And actually it is really much the same if you're doing it in the real tenant. There you also have these options, and now it is just about waiting until this has been assigned. So I did so now earlier this was like 20 minutes, now it is 60 minutes, and you can then follow the progress in this. And sometime I have seen that it was not able to complete. Then you just go back to the trial, home, delete the trial, and create it again, and hopefully with some more luck. Now we can see the API management has been granted to us, and the idea is then we can go back to our trial sub account, go into our trust collection, find our user, show assignment, and we can now see we got some API management, API portal, API self-service administrator, API guest, we don't need that, and we can also see it's already created the PI role, so we just assign them. If you have open connectors, you also need to assign those. And integration developer. So now we got all the roles. So now it is just for this one to complete. If we want to open the API portal, we can just click here. Hopefully we got the right access, and I think last time I tried this was also creating some account provisioning extra to handle these things. Yeah. Login. So now we can just go and start creating APIs for this. And this is just 25%, no, 29%. So let me just pause it for some time, and then I'll get back once it's fully delivered and just show you some of the later steps in that process. So now we have completed the installation, and obviously if it does not work, just go back to the suite here, delete it, and try again, create it in a new data center. But once it's done, you can click here and you will be able to go into the CPI Suite, and you can start developing as you would always have. So now we have configured and created the instance. We need to go in and enable the CPI system to be triggered by an external process. To this, we will use this service instance, or create a service instance in the dev space. And so we select the dev space, we then runtime, and here we have the process integration runtime. Here we need to select the cloud integration flow runtime. We will create it, select the plan, integration flow. We will insert a JSON that says we'll use this message sent row. We will create it. Right now here on my instance, I think I have a small problem with this not being able to be processed. So let me just show you what this would look like if for the integration flow. So if we go back again and create it, so once it will be created, you will get some OAuth tokens. But in order for us to do that, let's just take the API, which apparently is working. So let's select the API 2, set in the role here, and obviously you should not use API, but you should use the integration runtime for this. I already cheated, and I already have an API here. So you will then select it here, and once you have selected it, you can then select and create a service key, and then you will select service key 2, for instance, create it, and this will then create a service key you can use. And if you then select view, you will get the client ID and the client's credential that you can then use when you are authenticating and sending messages to this. I think in general you should be able to just use this as the username and the secret as the password for doing this, but obviously it should be the integration runtime and not the API. The API here is used if you're using the public API to fetch data. I hope this has been useful. You've seen some value in this. I do recommend to check out the CPI course to learn more about how to really create CPI applications and running them. And also, if you want to know more about how you can really govern and transport and manage CPI, go to figaf.com and check out the Figaf DevOps tool, which really gives you a lot of all the things you need to develop CPI, like a Git repository, like testing tool, like transport management, like monitoring, all these cool things. So check those things out. Thank you.